Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. We're gonna do another one of those spell boxes. How much fun. Like I showed you before, Dollar Tree sells 3 of these, and last week we did poisons. This time we're gonna be doing Book of Spells. And I just love the artwork on the front of this box. It's so creepy. It screams Halloween, and this will be such a fun box to decorate the inside. So this one is a different size than last week's box. It is a little smaller, and I did not realize how much smaller until the middle of this video, but you'll see. Kind of messed up on the door, but I fixed it. So we're going to start by grabbing a dollhouse dresser. I absolutely love the wooden dollhouse furniture at Dollar Tree. You can do so many different minis with it. So I painted the whole dresser in Waverly Moss, which was one of my favorite greens. And then I took one of their furniture markers, which I really didn't know how amazing these markers are. They're furniture like touch-up markers. And look at that. It's so easy and way better than using a Sharpie because these are more liquid. Where Sharpie, you're always, having to keep going over and over and over, where this is more fluent, I think. And oh my gosh, I wish I would have bought these sooner. I've seen other people use them and never tried them. I'm so glad I did. So I bought all the different colors. There was like light brown and black and dark. I bought them all. And I'm going to put a lot of them on this dresser. So right now I'm just coming in with black. Then I'm going to come in with a darker brown, a light brown. I just want this dresser to look old and have multiple colors on it. Kind of like maybe paint was splattered on it. I don't know. I just thought that using the different colors really would make this dresser look unique and different. And there's no rhyme or reason. It almost looks camouflaged when I'm done, but it's pretty cool. The top of it, I take the different colored brown marker and I do lines across the top to mimic a wooden top. So yeah, you can just play around with these markers and look how easily it goes on. Here, as I said, I'm just taking it and drawing lines. So much easier than painting in. You don't have to wait time for it to dry. In the toy section is these wooden dominoes, and I've used them for a lot of different projects. So I glued 2 of them together with the wooden side facing up and the domino in between. And I'm going to use these for shelves in the box. And again, I used that furniture touch-up markers, and I just went over each shelf, front and back. At first I only did the top, and then I realized no, the bottom has to be done too because you're going to see it. So I do go back in, and then I cut some popsicle sticks down, and I put the popsicle sticks in first and put the shelves on top of them, and that helps hold them into place, and you got the cutest little shelves for your box. Last week I did my shelves differently, so this is just a different way of doing shelves in these boxes. That little piece of furniture, that little dresser fits in the box perfect because this box is the smaller box of the 3. I think the other 2 boxes are the same size, but this one is a little bit smaller. So this dresser fits in there, just absolute perfect fit. And I put the dresser in, and then I come back in. Here's where I realized that you have to do the bottom too. I come back in and I do the shelving just a little different. Last week's popsicle sticks went on the side. This week I'm going to put them in the back wall and attach the shelf that way. So you just put those in and then put a little hot glue on the bottom of the shelf and hot glue that shelf down. The popsicle stick helps hold it. Added structure. I don't know where I'm going with this. It keeps it in place. And like I said, I didn't want all of my boxes to be the same. Because I'm going to be displaying all 3 of them, I wanted different styles, different ways of thinking to make. I didn't want it all to be just a flat board shelf in there. I wanted them all to be unique and different. So using these domino pieces is a great way to achieve that and have it. Plus, it doesn't go all the way across. So when I start decorating this, you'll see I put a taller piece right there where you see that gap, just to make each box different. It's looking so cute already, isn't it? Now, at the beginning of this video, I told you I messed up. And I didn't realize how much smaller this box was, so I was going to do the same thing I did last week and put the wood board on the door. Well, when I glued it down is when I realized that the wood board is much bigger and this box would never close. So that's why you see my door's kind of ripped up right now. So that's okay. So I went in, I grabbed some of my scrapbook paper, and I grabbed a piece I thought would go nicely with the theme of this little box, and it looks like wallpaper, which is really cute. I also had some Dollar Tree embellishments, which I thought go perfectly with the wallpaper. So I went my stash and I grabbed these. They're gorgeous and they're stickums, so you don't have to use any. They're very sticky stickums too, and they look like metal labels, I guess. So I put one in the middle, and then I used the decorative ones, and I went around each edge. Then I took the little label that goes in the center of that, and I used my marker on it, and I went and grabbed one of my apothecary labels and just cut out the word spells, and I added that to the center. Now, after that door is the way I want it, I went and grabbed some Scrabble pieces and another apothecary label and just wrapped the pieces around the Scrabble pieces to mimic books. I didn't worry about putting, the lines, like pages, any of that. Just wrap the paper around it, cut it down to size. You're not going to see the sides or the back. I just wanted it to look like old books, is why I grabbed a label that was kind of like a off dingy beige or yellowish tint to it. And then I glued these pieces together, and I'm going to put that on the shelf. Now, some pieces I made for this box, some pieces are from my tablescape video, which I think was 2 weeks ago, so check that out. I had made plates and candles and cups, and I thought that would work perfectly with this project too. So I saved those from my tablescape, and I'm going to use some of those in this. But if you want to see how to make each of those pieces, check out my miniature tablescape, and you'll see how to make what I'm also going to be using for this box. Now, I wanted a little scroll, so I just used some crafting paper, wadded it up in my hand so it was nice and wrinkly crinkly. I cut it down to size and cut 2 toothpicks down and used a little bit of glue and just started rolling the paper around the toothpick on the top and the bottom, adding glue as I went so it would stay in place. And then I just wrote, I can't even remember what I wrote on it. I probably wrote like spells and potions, or I wrote something silly on it. You can't really read it anyway, but I just wanted it to look like it had writing on it. So you just wrap it around the toothpick on the top and then do the same thing on the bottom, and you have a cute little miniature scroll. I added a little bit of a glue stick to the bottom, and I'm going to glue that down to the dresser, I think. Yes, on top of the dresser. So you can't even read the writing unless you really look inside. But, attention to detail makes this whole thing super cute. So I thought having writing on it would be great. So I grabbed a little miniature bottle. Dollar Tree sells all different kinds of bottles. And used my existing craft paper that I had wrinkled up and just rolled it together using a glue stick to secure the ends. And so I thought that would mimic like rolled up potions or spells that she would have laying around. Again, I'm basing this off of like a witch's room or a witch's den. I don't know what you would call it, where she concocts her spells and potions. So I thought these rolled up spells would be really cute. And I also used some of the wallpaper, extra wallpaper I had that I put on the door. I rolled that up as well, just for different colors, so it wasn't all brown. And that's what I'm doing here, just rolling them up, and I'm going to put them in the drawer. And where my two shelves have that long gap, that little glass jar fits perfectly with those spells in it. I rolled up quite a few of them because not only are they going to go in that glass jar, but I'm also going to have those rolled up spells laying on the table and the shelves as well. Because all the little details that you add to these just really make this come together and look like it should be like in a witch's room. Or, I don't know, who else does spells? I'm trying to think because I keep saying witch, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a witch's or a warlock. I don't know. Anyway, the glass was just a little too new and fresh. So I took the furniture marker and went over the glass to make it more dingy and old and yellow, like it's been around for a zillion years. Then I hot glue that to the dresser in the space that's long, so that when I come in with my little spells, I can add them and they'll stand up in that little glass jar perfectly. How cute is that? I don't know. I think it's coming along nicely. I think it's looking like a little spell room. Now I took my copper cup from the tablescape video, and I'm going to add one to the dresser. I'm going to put some on the top shelf. I'm going to take my candle and add it to the plate and put that on the dresser as well. And then I'm also going to take the cutting boards that I made from that tablescape video, and I'm going to add them to the floor, kind of laying against the dresser. And I'm just going to keep adding embellishments until I think this little mini room is complete. Like I said, if you want to know how I made these, the cutting board, the cups, the plate are all made out of clay. And it's in the tablescape video. I keep saying that, but that's where they came from. And the candle is the handle to a foam brush with hot glue on it. So cute. But it's coming along nicely, and I'm really, really happy with how this little box came out. I also found a little spring that I put on the shelf as well. You would be amazed, like, what you can keep and use in mini projects, because I just have so much fun saving things, and I find that I can use them when I'm making little miniatures. So it's just, everything is personal, how you want to decorate it, and there's a lot of videos out there on how to make individual little things, and I check those out just like everybody else does. Now, the last touch is my napkins, which I also added to the bottom because I thought those look like little wrapped up scrolls as well. So stinking cute. Oh my gosh. I did use my apothecary labels and rolled one of those up too, just so it's not just craft paper. You're seeing different. You got the wallpaper, you got the apothecary labels, you do have the craft paper, just so it's different and not all the same color tone. And if you put you could tie little pieces of twine around them if you wanted. And those are just little scrolls for this room. And here it is, all put together. This door closes perfectly. So you don't have to add the string and the buttons like I did on my last box last week. And it's so different than last week's, which is what I'm going for. I want all 3 boxes to have their own unique and different look to them. And I love how all these little minis just came together and fit perfectly. I think it looks like a little spell room, and it's so much fun to make. And I love that it tells a story. When you open the box, there's a little story inside. It's so much fun. I hope y'all are enjoying these miniatures. I love minis. I love making minis. I think it's so much fun creating little items. I got one more video for you guys. Next week will be spells and hexes, and we'll see how that room turns out. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to my channel. I would love to have you. Ring that bell for future notifications and share this with your friends. There's both the boxes that are done so far. As you can see, the spells is a lot smaller than the other 2 boxes. So they do have a little difference in size, but they all still work so well with each other. I love y'all. I hope you guys are having a blessed and wonderful day. And I can't wait to see you next week for spells and hexes. Have a great week, y'all. Love you. Bye.